Hello, Sally Henderson, High Stakes Leadership Mentor, with today's edition of Mentor in Your Pocket. I thought it would be helpful today to bring to life the poll that I carried out of over 200 leaders across ad tech, branding, marketing, digital, media, about what leadership traits they believed would be the right ones for this year, 2023. And I've picked out the top results we got, and I want to give you some of my mentoring to help you actually have those traits at your disposal if you wish them to. So one of the biggest traits that came out was about having clarity as a leader. And this is going to sound so obvious, isn't it? Because you'd think, well, who doesn't have clarity as a leader? But oh my God, in my work all the time, very senior, successful leaders do struggle with a lack of clarity. But most importantly, about themselves. It's not clarity about the business or clients or the kind of hard metrics, because they have to be done. They take absolute priority to make sure business is running well. Of course they do. But what gets lost, what gets overlooked, it's clarity about your needs as a leader. You cannot have clarity of how to run your business if you first don't have clarity about your own leadership health. How confident are you as a leader? How well supported are you as a leader? And when was the last time you did a little MOT to be really clear on what you're proud of, what you want to work with, and what makes you unique? Because when those are plugged in and working for you, wow, your leadership truly goes to another level. Second trait that came out was empathy. And interestingly, I might be going a bit counterintuitive here, but I would say to set you up to have the best empathy for this year, I would actually start by advising you to put in place good boundaries. The one thing I heard time and time again through the COVID years, and they were there, they've not been swept under a rug, was that the emotional toll it took on leaders having to cope with the people's needs, understandably through that time, was off the scale. And you are a finite being, I hate to tell you, so your energy needs restoring. Empathy with yourself needs to be your first and foremost. You know that age-old saying, put your own oxygen mask on first if you need it in an aeroplane crash. So boundaries around empathy are going to help you have that muscle much more at your disposal, working for, not against you, as we continue to need to support people throughout this year. Because if empathy is on tap relentlessly, you'll just become exhausted, overwhelmed, and you'll be no use to anybody. Resilience. Gosh, that overused word. How do you have resilience at a time when you've had to be resilient beyond any other imagination over the last 3 years? But for me, resilience, again, comes from the counter opposite, perhaps, which is kindness. You get resilience by, first of all, being kind to yourself. The one thing I ask my clients is, if anyone could hear how you're talking to yourself, would you be proud? Our resilience is often depleted because we become our own worst critic. Constant put down, constant you could do better. That is not what makes you resilient. So kindness, but also get to know your tribe. Who are the people who will support you in having that resilience? Because resilience takes energy, it takes confidence, it takes support. You know the saying, it takes a village? Well, it also takes a village to support a great leader. So if you're wanting to have more resilience, look at getting help. Because it's not a lonely sport, it's definitely a team sport to have resilience. And the last thing I would come to you today from that word cloud is consistency. Because there's nothing worse than a leader that's like a roller coaster, up and down. Even if you mask that, if that's happening inside but no one else can tell, no classic swan, it's still going to be having a massive impact on your effectiveness and happiness as a leader. Consistency comes through having good patterns, good routines, things that support you both inside and outside of work. But it comes back to where we started, clarity. If you don't have clarity, you cannot be consistent in approach. But consistency, I find, is best mastered when you are in control of your emotions. Because it's emotions that derail consistency. Fear, anger, jealousy, angst, all the negative emotions, and also sometimes denial, let's be honest. They all undermine consistency. And what people want in times of uncertainty and change is to know that they can rely on you as a leader. But who are you relying on? Who is helping you? And if I can be that person, you know I'm here. Thanks very much. Bye until next time.